2023 reason, me and my friend represent how to practice civic-mindedness in our society today. So, what is civic-mindedness? The definition of civic-mindedness is action, activity or individual that motivated by or shows concern for the public goods or humanity as a whole. As we know, civic-mindedness needs to enlisted in ourselves for always have common sense to able to lead a harmonious life. So if we don't have the civic-minded in ourselves, a lot of problems will happen in our society today. Moreover, even though civic-mindedness are important, but they are always have problems in it, such as unhealthy development of individualism. But all the problems have the solutions. So for solution, we can get the solution like responsibility on the education department, and we will get the benefit after we can solve the problems, such as we could rules of social life. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I am Nur Erina Yasmin, and for today I would like to talk about the problems that have occurred due to the lack of civic-mindedness in our society. So, lack of civic-mindedness is catastrophic in our society, and it is undeniable that people are becoming more individualistic, less tolerant of each other, and having no sense of good manners. Therefore, there are three problems that have occurred due to the lack of civic-mindedness. Firstly, unhealthy development of individualism. This is said so because the demand for one's right at the expense of the right of others and society at large is the root of the problem of the lack of civic-mindedness in our society. For example, senior citizens demanding the right by blatantly jumping queue or admonishing younger people for not giving up the seat at the MRT. Next, people are not cared about their surroundings. This is happening because there are few sins that are not uncommon in Malaysia. For example, waste management behavior. Our cigarette smoking citizens who think that everything from a drinking cup to dining plate is their ashtray. Other than that, those overzealous advertisers of properties, loans or plumbing services who make use of every public utility pole or wall space to put forth their illicit advertisement. Lastly, lead to vandalism. There are few cases of vandalism, such as throwing down of rubbish or flower pots from high-rise blocks of public housing area, that cause injuries and even death. However, the public has still not learned lesson from this incident. To prevent the recurrence of such tragic incident, resident association should play a role by involving in programs or even educate the community. To sum up, stricter laws must be passed and executed to deal with irresponsible citizens. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Next, I will talk about the solution to the problem, which is civic-minded. Nowadays, many people lack of civic awareness. Therefore, we have to place this important responsibility on the education department. This is because our Minister of Education has also realized that this civic awareness is less exposed to the young peoples of today. With that, the Minister of Education has created civic and citizenship subject that all students must study. In fact, our former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad once said that we need to emulate the attitude of the Japanese people. This is because even though the country is advanced, the people still maintain pure value and still practice the culture and custom of the nation. Okay, next, the second point of the solution to solve the problem is through device action. This is says because if we look at our neighbor country, which is Singapore, we will be so impressed by its people, because the people who is so obey to the rules and responsible to the public property. This is because the real basis of that attitude is the determination of the Singapore government in educate its people, so that the people will so obey to the rules and never broke the rules. Lastly, the third solution that to solve the problem is through the law enforcement. This is say because our country also need to enforce law that involve people who lack civic minded. This is because if Singapore mandate community service activity for anyone who is found to be in violence of the use of public property, such as public telephone and littering, why can't our country implement it? As a result, strict and heavy law enforcement can instill a high civic minded in our society.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Today I'm going to talk about the benefit we will get if we are practice civic awareness. The ability of civic awareness to do something according to the rules of social life can prevent a person from doing any unhealthy action, such as getting involved in drugs and hanging up. Individuals who have civic awareness will have personal protection from doing bad things because civic awareness often provides a reminder to that person. The more individuals who have this awareness, the less social problem that plague the country, because all people are able to think maturely and wisely. Obviously, civic awareness prevents the transmission of negative symptoms from happening so widely. Next, the position of civic-minded in a person's soul the position of civic-minded in a person's soul makes that person more respect and admired by the general public. Individuals will be considered as human beings who receive perfect education and are able to help make the life of other human beings more perfect. All actions carried out by individuals who have civic-minded are often associated with positive action and are able to help society as a whole. Therefore, civic-minded is able to give a person a positive personal image easily. Okay. Lastly, civic-minded is able to make the society of this country a model society for other global societies. The attitude of deep civic-minded in the members of our society, which is embodied by the lack of social problems, crime, and so on, raises the image of the country and its people. Foreign communities will begin to try to imitate the implementation of concept of civic-minded in this country to be practiced in their own country successfully. So, significant civic-minded is able to provide a positive perception of the outside community towards the life of the people of our country. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Ali Ashrabati Afandi and my matric number is 422-300-4531. To sum up, civic-mindedness is really compulsory for every person. Civic values are important principles that give freedom and duties to all the citizens in a democratic country. It is not about you only have civic in terms of feeding people, but we also need the civic-mindedness to keep our surrounding clean. If we are not practicing civic-mindedness, what about our next generation who will be a future leader of the country, because no one will teach them a public spirit since they are at young age. I am hoping that the society to change the negative behavior so we can be a country that have first class mindset. Thank you.